Okay, welcome back to another vid, and firstly, apologies for the unshaven look. Never mind the fact I've not made a video for 2 months. No apologies for that. Apologies for looking like a right scruffy bugger. So, yeah, I've just been... No, seriously, I guess apologies to anyone who cares. I've just been lazy, busy. The classic thing, I say it so often that I'm going to have to stop saying it. But that thing of, I'll make the video next week, and then a week goes by. I'll do it next week, and then 3 weeks have gone by, and then a month has gone by, and you're like, oh, Jesus, But the thing is, you can't force a vid. Well, you can try, but it's not going to work, and it's not going to work long term. You have to make them when you're in the mood. And you know what? I've always thought, yeah, you do run the risk if you don't upload a video for a month or 2 or 6 or a year or whatever. You run the risk of people unsubscribing. But I'm not being funny. I'm just being honest. I don't care. I'm not bothered. Because the way I view it is if somebody wants to unsubscribe from you, if you've got a relatively short amount of time without making a video, then are they really the people who you want subscribed to you anyway? Probably not. Then again, I'm not really the one to talk about subs because it's something which has never bothered me. I obviously appreciate everybody who does subscribe. It means a lot. It's an indication that people like your stuff, so it's really nice. But I've never been one to chase subs. If I was, I'd have more than what I've got after nearly 7 years of making vids, 6, 7 years. Not having a go at anyone who does ask for subs and stuff, that's fine. I get it. I understand it. Good luck. I've not a problem with you for doing it, obviously. Keep digging. No, genuinely, no problem. It's just not my style. That's all. If you like what you see, subscribe, and if you don't, you don't have to. Whatever. I know for a fact, because people have told me, weirdly, again, no offence, although I just offended them, that there are people who sometimes watch my vids, maybe semi-regularly, but they're not subscribed. And I was like, well, thanks, it's nice, but why aren't you subscribed? Why watch? Then again, I'm the same. I've got to be honest. I think maybe it's that kind of etiquette thing, because there's people who this is more like a vlog than a pick-up vid, isn't it? There's people I'm subscribed to, and I'm hoping some of you out there going, oh yeah, I'm like that as well. I'm hoping it's not just me. I'd hazard a guess there's other people like this. But there's some people who I watch who I'm not subscribed to a little bit. I watch a little bit of their stuff, not all their stuff. And there's also people who I am subscribed to who I just never comment. And I think addressing the first point, it sounds embarrassing really, and at my age I shouldn't think this way. And it might not be strictly true, I'm just trying to think of the reason off the top of my head. But the people who I am not subscribed to, who I watch, it's almost as if, stupidly, too much water has passed under the bridge. They've been around for ages now. I'm aware of them. They must be aware of me. I don't mean that in a big-headed way. I just mean in the sense that I've been around for a while. But we don't comment on each other's stuff. Maybe we don't. Maybe because we never have. So it's like, if we left it too late? The answer is no, it's never too late. But I guess there's that kind of, I'm waiting for you to say something and they may be waiting for me. Does that sound weird? Is that bollocks? It probably is. And then the other point about being subscribed to people but just never really commenting on their stuff. Again, maybe there's an element of what I just said for that first point. Because you've never really left a comment, you've never got to know them. So the longer time goes on without you having that communication, the more kind of distant you are. You may watch each other, you may like the videos, but you never say anything because you feel as if maybe you can't. But I guess all it takes is for somebody, I guess I could do it, to kind of try and break that ice. And if they respond, then great. And if they don't, well, then it's up to you whether you want to continue to leave in comments or not, I guess. But yeah, does anyone else feel that way? Is it just me? It's just me. Thought so. So I got 4 Super Nintendo games, PAL, obviously, and 3 PlayStation 3. Now, in a sense, PlayStation 4, sorry. PlayStation 3 and 360, I've kind of gone a little bit cold on. Maybe I will save that for a vlog. But, yeah, 3 PlayStation 4 games and 4 Super Nintendo games. So, in a sense, this really, even though one of these PS4 games came out this month, I'm kind of going to count this as a pickup video for May, because I didn't do one. So these are my pickups for May, apart from one that came out in June. We'll just turn a blind eye to that. In fact, the one you can see, let's just crack on, the one you can see behind you, or behind me, I guess, is Wipeout, the Amiga collection. So I don't know a great deal about this. I went in a little bit blinded. I knew it was coming out, of course. I was excited. I saw some videos. I heard people talking about it. And I am a Wipeout fan, predominantly on the PlayStation 1, but also on the Sega Saturn. I was playing that probably a couple of weeks ago, actually, just a handy prop to have. Now, the funny thing is, I am rubbish, absolutely rubbish when it comes to controlling the ships on the Sega Saturn and the PS1. I guess practice makes perfect, but I'm not very good at it. But instantly, this was quite easy. So I don't know if they've just refined the game, they've made it a lot more easier to control. Obviously, the graphics are so much better. Not that games are about graphics. They are a little bit. But yeah, I've gravitated towards this much quicker and much easier than I thought. I honestly thought I'd be bashing into the sides constantly, but I'm not. I mean, every now and again it's going to happen, but no, I'm not. I'm actually doing really well as a side, the spine, and I'm really liking it. So it's a really good game, and it's funny the other day because I opened it up, and even though I've had the game for 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, I noticed that it comes with some download codes. I thought, oh great, is it like extra maps? Is it whatever? No, it isn't. It's just a lot of avatars for your PlayStation little badge avatar thing. Big deal. I mean, who cares? I don't anyway. I downloaded them, of course, so obviously I care a little bit. But I've no interest in using them. So that's that. I'm really enjoying it. As you can see, it's on in the background there. So graphically, really good. Music's very good. I believe, but I do stand corrected, so take this with a severe pinch of salt. I think it's a slight remake of the PlayStation Vita version, which I did have back in the days of when I had a Vita. I got one not long after launch. And I did like the Vita, to be fair. But there wasn't enough out for it, and there still isn't. And then there was a few games that I wanted to like, but the controls were a nightmare with the little sticks. I just couldn't do it. It was just rubbish, really. Will I get one again in the future? We'll never say never. But it's certainly not on the agenda. It really, really isn't. But I did like Wipeout on the Vita. I thought it looked great. And on the PlayStation 4, obviously, it's absolutely fantastic. So if you like Wipeout, the old school stuff, definitely pick it up. It's a PlayStation 4 exclusive. So if you've got an Xbox, we won't be playing it, basically. Got to have a PlayStation. Now, the next one up is kind of just a fun game, a bit of a puzzle game. I love these kind of things. I've always been an advocate of these brain games, if you like, because without sounding a little bit soft, a little bit soppy, I think it is important, that we as people, absorb a lot of information, watch a lot of TV, not just mindless TV, useful information. It's good for the brain retention, and I think these games help. I genuinely think it helps people as they get older with, apparently it's been proven, when it comes to, not having dementia and all that kind of stuff, and helping people live longer. I know that sounds weird, but so start playing these games if you haven't been doing it already. I've been doing it for years, so I've got a head start. But this is Puyo Tetris on the PlayStation 4, as you can see. I don't think I had this on a previous vid. If this was on my last pickup video, I don't think it was, because I don't think it had been released. But if it was, I'm really sorry. I'm just behind the times. I don't think it was, though. But yeah, it's a really good game. It's essentially just, you can either play Tetris or you can play Puyo. Puyo is basically these little squidgy little blobs that look kind of like jelly beans. But it's essentially the same thing as Tetris. You put a certain amount of them together, and the lines lower, you clear the lines and all that kind of stuff. Or you can play a morphed version where it's randomly they're coming down. 1 minute it's the Tetris things coming down, and next minute it's these Puyo things. So it's really challenging. It's really hard. It starts off pretty easy, lulls you into this kind of false sense of security, thinking this is easy. This is a piece of cake, and all of a sudden you start to get to some of the latter levels or the medium levels. And you're like, bloody hell, they've just kind of turned twisted the dial up there to like 11. It's pretty severe. But again, as I said before, like anything, practice does make perfect. And if you persevere with it, you will get better. So I love these kind of games. They're great, scientifically proven to help you out and assist you to fending off issues in later life. It's good for the brain, good to concentrate and to figure things out. Just like it is to read a good book or to watch a really good intriguing documentary or whatever. Take your pick what you want to do, but use your brain. That's what it's there for. I want to use my brain to play games. All right, we'll do that as well then. It's fine. Now, I'm going to talk not much about this because this was a blind purchase on the PS4, and goodness me, was it a ridiculous purchase in hindsight. I mean, at my age, I should not be, I'll never change though, but I should not really be looking on Amazon.com and seeing a PlayStation 4 game at like $50 off the retail and thinking, oh, well, it must be good. Because if anything, that's saying it must be rubbish. Now, listen, okay, I'll take that back. It's not that it's rubbish. It's just not my kind of thing. I'll show you the game and then I'll talk about it and I'll tell you why it isn't my thing. The game is called Psycho Pass, Mandatory Happiness, although it's kind of given me mandatory unhappiness, oddly enough. But it's one of these kind of box set things. It comes with a few nice little extras. I'm not going to get it all out. And it comes with the standard game as well. So, I didn't know anything about it. I just looked at it. It was kind of like $20 for this limited edition or deluxe edition, whatever it is. And I thought, $20, that's a bargain. Brand new game. Well, it hasn't been out very long. Let's give it a go. Now, I knew it was something to do with manga. You can kind of tell just by looking at it. I'm not going to lie. Not my thing. I'm not into it. It's not that I think it's rubbish. It's just never really clicked with me. I've tried. It's just not my bag. I've got to be honest. But I didn't know that Psycho Pass is like a manga. It's got history with it. Is it a TV series? Is it a cartoon? Is it books and comics? I don't really know. But I know like the franchise, if you like, Psycho Pass is out there and it's got a big fan base. I had no idea. So essentially what this game is, in a nutshell, it's what I believe they call a graphic or a visual novel. Maybe it's a visual novel. And so basically what it is, you put the game in and you skip through all the menu screens, option menus, all that kind of stuff, start the game, and it's like a cartoon. And there's cutscenes and stuff, or stills, and the text will come up kind of telling you the story. And I was watching it for like a couple of minutes thinking, okay, well, I'll read it because I want to get into it before I play the game. And then it kept going on. And on, and on, and on. An Ariston, if you're my age, you remember that advert off the telly. And I thought, hang on, something's not right here. This is a bit weird. This is basically just me just reading some text on the screen, clicking the X button to bring up the next picture and a load more text. And after about 1 hour, not even joking, 1 hour of thinking, I'm just going to keep persevering with this, that's all it is. It's basically just watching a cartoon of sorts with still screens, with I think the occasional kind of bit of animated stuff going on, and reading the text and pressing X. It's like reading a book. And I was just thinking, this is bollocks. This is not what I'm into at all. Now, if you're into it, well, you're going to love it. If you're into manga, you're going to be at home. If you're into Psycho Pass, well, it's the second coming, isn't it? You're going to absolutely think it's fantastic. For me, it's just, this is bollocks. And I got bored. I say very quickly. It took an hour. But eventually I just thought, no, I've got to turn this off. This is not for me. Now, I may go back to it eventually and give it a second chance and a fair crack of the whip. But now I clearly know what this game is all about. A visual graphic novel on your PlayStation 4, just to read it and have the story unfold in front of you. And at least so far anyway, to have no input whatsoever into choices or anything. Not that I can recall. Maybe there's a couple of very, very minor things. But not really my bag. But it might be yours. Let's move on to things which are definitely my bag. And it's the 4 Super Nintendo games. Let's start off with this one, actually, at the bottom. So there's a bit of a common theme here with all of them, actually. I was going to say not one of them, but actually, yeah, with all of them after last night's experience. With the penultimate game I think I'll show. And that theme that they've got is that they're all rock hard, but we know that anyway, because gaming back then, in the 80s and in the 90s, it just didn't hold your hand. Today it does. You've got save points, you've got checkpoints, you've got every password systems. I mean, you kind of had password systems back then, and certain save facilities, but nothing like now. Games are easy in comparison to back then. And this game, it's a classic. I did used to play it back in the day. Here we go again. It's Super Smash TV. Once again, apologies for all the glare. It's just always going to happen. I think I say it in every vid. It's the way the monitor is, it's the screen reflecting, it's the sun outside. So, yeah, basically just a shoot 'em up, as you're well aware, I'm sure, of Super Smash TV. And this is so difficult. In fact, it might even be... Oh, it's not on there, I don't think. But it's one of the bosses. It may be like the first level, end of level boss. And I'm not even exaggerating. I think I was trying to kill him, just pummeling him full of bullets and bombs and lasers and you name it, for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. He wouldn't die. or bits of him kept breaking off, and then it would come back. It's like, are you serious? So hard. But a really good game, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So, Super Smash TV, thoroughly recommended if you're into retro gaming, of course, and into your Super Nintendo. If you're into your shooters, an essential purchase. I think it's cost me around about 35, 40 quid, maybe in a little bit more, and it probably goes for about that. And it's in great condition. They all are. I always get my SNES games in very good condition. Now, the next one up is a game which there's actually a prequel of sorts. A prequel in regards to the name of the title of the franchise, but the games are somewhat unrelated. Different kind of styles. The first one was almost, to a degree, a kind of one of those interactive things. Controls were apparently dreadful. In fact, I know they were from experience of earlier versions on other systems like the ST, the Amiga, all that kind of stuff. This is basically just a straight-up platform game. So, for me, it's quite good. Now, I saw a review of this. Let me show you what it is. It's Dragon's Lair. It's Dragon's Lair on the Super Nintendo. Now, I saw a review of this just the other day because I was curious as to what people thought. And basically, they were slagging it off. They said it was absolutely awful and one of the worst games they've ever played. Now, that to me is harsh. Is it the best game ever? Obviously not. Is it up there with, with the best platformers? Obviously not. But is it decent? Yeah, it's quite good, actually. But this one reviewer was absolutely slating everything about it. From the animation to the difficulty, and it is difficult, but they all are, as I touched upon. The animation I thought was okay. He was kind of laughing, if you like, at the death animations. Now, I've gone back and I've watched them since. I don't think they're particularly funny. Laughing at them in regards to they were bad quality, I should say. That's what he was saying. I thought they're all right. So for me, it's a good game. It's much better than the previous Dragon's Lair games that had you almost had to press down on the joystick to turn left. It was like completely introverted. Well, not introverted if it's down and left, but you know what I mean. It was the opposite. It was weird. It was a really strange, complex control system, and it was unresponsive as well. So the fact that they've gone with a platform genre on this is something I'm really pleased with. So would I recommend it? Well, yeah, I would. Maybe in the future I'll do my own review, and you can watch that after you've watched the other guys, and then decide for yourself. But again, I want to state it's not the best game ever. It's not amazing. It's not an essential purchase, but I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people make out, but that's my opinion. Dragon's Lair, well worth it, and probably paid only about $15 for that. No, it would have been about 15 quid, I guess. And I thought that was a good price. Really good condition, too. Okay, so 2 left. Now, this is a football game, but don't switch off. I was really surprised with this. I've got to be honest, I bought it because, well, I'm greedy and I just want Super Nintendo games. I also bought it because of nostalgia, because I used to have it on the Atari ST. I also bought it because the price is good and because it was in great condition. But I bought it expecting it to be quite average. I bought it thinking, do you know what, I'll put it on and I'll probably think, oh, it's a bit rubbish, really. But I was instantly surprised. I put it on, I was like, this is really good. I'd forgotten how good it is, or was, I guess. Well, still is. And that game is Striker. And there's so many good things about this. I thought the music was really good. It's got players' names in, real players' names, I should say. Obviously got players' names. So if you want to, play with the likes of Steve Bull and Andy Sinton, Carlton Palmer, you've got to be, a bit strange to want to do that. But all those English players are there. I think there's 64 teams altogether, international teams. And yeah, just look at the back. There's indoor 5-a-side, so that was kind of fun. You can kick the ball against the wall and to have it kind of go round a defender and come back to you. So that's kind of a nice little feature, realistic, I guess. Kit editor, you can edit the players' names if you really want. The gameplay is fast. You can score some amazing goals. It was just last night I was having a preset tournament of I think 8 teams maybe, 16 teams, whatever it was. I got to the final against Poland, and I lost. I drew 3-3, but I lost on a penalty shootout. And it didn't bother me. That's the thing with old games. It doesn't bother me when I do bad. Yeah, I can get a bit frustrated, but it doesn't stress me out. Modern games make me want to smash the place up. It's just ridiculous. So, yeah, I was really enjoying it. I had fun. And but some of the goals I was scoring, it was like, this is brilliant. Genuinely like, wow. Almost, dare I say, realistic for a 16-bit game. So I was really enjoying it. There's some really nice things. Like I say, you've got your 5-a-side pitches on the back. Did I show the back? If you can even see it. You can see the 5-a-side pitch there. And there's the kit kind of option menu. Again, I appreciate the glare's not the best. But a few things that it reels off the back. New FIFA rules, whatever that would have been. Maybe that was a backpass rule. Team strategies, various formations. I mean, it's kind of standard. Manual or automatic goalkeepers, variable wind and pitch conditions, red and yellow cards, 6-a-side, so not 5-a-side, 6-a-side indoor option, substitutions, extra time and penalties, unique 3D perspective, individual player abilities, match statistics, and a varied choice of competitions to enter, with the knockout section allowing up to 64 players to compete. Yeah, the one thing I'd say, which I found annoying about the 64-player competition, is if you choose that, you have to select every team. So you've got to go down the list and literally manually select them all for the computer. It would be so much easier if you could if they were all, because if you choose a 64-team tournament and there's only 64 teams in the game, they should all automatically be selected, and then you can just manually select the one you want to control, or if it's a 2-player game that someone else is going to control. But no, you've got to select the computer control players as well, or teams, which is annoying. It takes 2 minutes, big deal, but it's a weird thing to do. It should have been automatically there to be automatically selected, but it isn't. So yeah, Striker, really pleased with it. I'd forgotten how good it is. Now, with that said, it's not up there for me with the likes of Sensible Soccer and Kickoff 2, and even things like Emlyn Hughes International Soccer, and a host of others, ISS, and like I said, the list does go on. It's not up there for me, but it is fun. And recommended. If you're a casual football fan, you may like it. I'd probably say if you're a very, very, very casual football fan, Sensible Soccer's probably your thing. But yeah, really surprised. Condition, brilliant, of course, because that's how I roll, where possible. And then last but not least for this particular vid is another platformer. I've got to be honest, I'd never heard of it up until when I picked it up. And I saw it on eBay. It was going for around about 40 quid. I think generally it may go for a little bit more in the condition I've got it for, but that's the kind of ballpark we're dealing with. But I'd never heard of it before, so I went onto YouTube, checked out some footage. It looked great, just a platformer, straight up my street. So I bought it, it arrived, I've been playing it. It's really good, it's really funny. There's one button in there, it's the A button. If you press it, he roars at the enemy and essentially kills them, and then you can pick up their bones and health and all that kind of stuff. That game is called Prehistoric Man. And it's so good. Now, I don't know, I've not done the research, if this is a PAL version. Obviously, you can see the British flag down there, and it's all in English, the game, and the text at the back is English, French, and German. But it may have been one of those games which was only released in, say, France or Germany. I don't know if it was released in the UK, despite being in English. The game's in English as well. I stand corrected, I really don't know. I'd never heard of it. So, yeah, it's really good. It's, like I say, a platform game. There's loads of levels on there as well. And it's got that nice balance of, it does get difficult, but it starts off quite simple. It's almost like a Mario, jump on the enemies' heads, collect their bones, bring it back to the guy who's always complaining because you've got to go out on these missions to get food for the villagers. And it doesn't matter how well you do, he'll always whinge. Some nice little features. I've got onto like the 3rd stage, so quite early on really. And you can control a hang glide? I think you call it. Is it paragliding or whatever it is? And it's really difficult to control. Now, it comes with the instructions, of course, but me being me, I can't be bothered reading instructions. So I'm there getting all stressed out, but in a non-stressful way, if that makes sense. Because it's retro, nostalgia, so, I kind of turn a blind eye to all that kind of stuff. So I should really go back to the instruction manual, figure out how to fly this bloody hang glider thing, and figure it out, because I don't know how to do it. But yeah, so there's a lot of variation in the game. So you get that in there, the jumping on the enemies, there's that roar button, which is just hilarious. So really liking it. It's just a standard platformer without showing you footage, which I may do in the future. There's not a lot more I can say. Yeah, I'm sure you'll Google it or YouTube it if you're that inclined. So I really recommend it. And for a game that I'd not heard of, it's been a real kind of eye-opener, if you like. Because now I'm thinking, how many other games are out there that I don't even know exist for the SNES, which I've not played and will subsequently want to get and will get in the future. So there's the spines, if you like, all black apart from the one at the bottom, which is the green. So again, that nice variety of PAL Super Nintendo boxes, even though 3 of them are black. Nothing wrong with black, obviously. I'm not racist or anything, clearly. So yeah, I'm really pleased to get them, and the PAL Super Nintendo collection is coming on leaps and bounds. I'm really pleased with it. This year, I've done so well. In fact, for the last couple of years, really, because there's been a few that I've bought and I've just sporadically had them on pickup vids. So really pleased to get back into the mould. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, I'm kind of enjoying them. But I've got to be honest, maybe this is a topic for another vid, along with the PS3 and the 360, which I think I hinted at earlier on. I'm not playing them as much as I used to, and I'm not really into them as much as I used to. I'm really getting back into that kind of old Super Nintendo predominantly, but you can see Mega Drive as well up there, and the Atari ST. Really getting back into that groove, and I'm absolutely loving it. There's nothing quite like, for me, buying PAL Super Nintendo games. You know, I've known this for years. This is nothing new. I've known it for years before I started YouTube. But as I get older and I've started to do it, it's me. It's what I'm all about. I've realised that. I've accepted it. Not that I was hiding from it or anything, but I've come to realise, for gaming, for me, more than new stuff, which I do still enjoy, but the old stuff is me. It's basically what I'm about as a person, as a gamer. My character, my memories, nostalgia, and being a hugely nostalgic person, all that kind of stuff. I just love buying the older stuff. So the Super Nintendo is really taking off. Of course, unfortunately, they're pricey. That's the downside. But do you know what? So are modern games. If you buy a modern game on release, you're looking at 50 quid, aren't you? Something like 40, 50 quid. It's $50, $60 over here. So, you know, you can get 2 or 3 or even 1, or put it towards 1 really good Super Nintendo game. So, yes, it is expensive, but it's all relative. You know, what are you spending your money on? Because if you smoke, I've never smoked, so I'm good there. But if you drink, you know, whatever you do, if you spend money on other activities and hobbies, then I guess Super Nintendo games are expensive. But if you don't really spend a lot of money on other interests and other hobbies, then it's not as expensive as you think. So if you're thinking about getting involved in the Super Nintendo, then don't, because I'm doing it. So don't buy the games that I want. No, I'm joking. If you're thinking about doing it, do it. But don't dive in there. Just bide your time and buy games that you want. And that's my other tip as well. It sounds obvious, but if you've got, like, let's just say you've got 50 quid going, right? 50 quid spare, and you've already got your Super Nintendo console, and maybe you want to get a game. I'd say don't go and buy 3 or 4 rubbish games. Don't do that unless you really want them, because rubbish is subjective after all. What I might like, you may not, and the next person might or might. Hands up, sorry, jump cut. They don't happen often, but when they do, it just disrupts the whole flow. But I was going off on a tangent anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, there we are. Let's wrap the video up. So we've got the 3 PlayStation 4 games, 2 which are really good, 1 which just isn't my bag, the mandatory happiness. But I'll give it another chance eventually, maybe. And then the 4 Super Nintendo games and the boxes. Look at the spines. Brilliant. Absolutely love them. So, until my next vid, whenever that is. Well, actually, I've just done a vinyl vid. But I may upload them both on the same day, maybe a different day. I think I did that last night, so that may go up first. We'll see. Either way, thanks for watching. See you later.